Okay, let's dive straight into this explainer. We're going to do something a bit different today, and frankly, it is incredibly fascinating. We are going to forensically deconstruct one single startling photograph. Now, you might be wondering, why dedicate an entire explainer to just one picture? Why take the time to really dissect it? Well, because doing a true visual deep dive takes a minute, and the sheer amount of observable facts we can extract from this one bizarre aviation scene is actually mind-blowing. We aren't relying on news reports or hearsay. We're just using our eyes, basic logic, and the evidence right in front of us.
Take a look at this. At first glance, your brain almost struggles to even process it, right? What we're looking at is a commercial regional jet completely inverted. It is resting entirely on its roof out on this desolate, icy landscape. It's just a massive, jarring juxtaposition. You've got this incredible feat of human engineering built to soar through the sky, totally flipped upside down and grounded in what looks like a seriously hostile winter environment.
Since we are strictly relying on the visual evidence captured in this specific freeze frame, the big question is, what can we actually deduce from this chaotic aftermath without making any outside assumptions? We're not going to guess at the flight path. Instead, we are going to dissect the physical environment, the structural condition of the aircraft, and the actual behaviors of the people we see to build a complete understanding of this exact moment.
Part 1. The frozen environmental conditions.
This scene is entirely dominated by extreme winter weather. The surface the plane is resting on? That is not tarmac. It's a smooth, highly reflective expanse of sheet ice. You can literally see the reflection of the aircraft and the people on the ground. Plus, if you look at those white streaks near the bottom, we've got visible trails of blowing snow sweeping across the ground. That tells us there are strong, biting winds right at the surface level, all sitting under a cold, overcast sky.
If you look really closely at the ground directly beneath the people, the sheer physical challenge of just standing up out there is so clear. The ice is completely solid and untracked, except for a few patches of snow blowing around their ankles. So not only do the aircraft have to contend with the zero friction surface, but the passengers are currently stuck in an environment where just keeping your footing is a very real, immediate physical hazard.
Moving on to Part 2, Aircraft Integrity Under Stress.
A lot of the visual shock here comes from seeing that Delta Connection branding entirely upside down. But look past that for a second and just focus on the metal itself. The fuselage is remarkably unbroken. Usually when we think of a plane crash, especially one violent enough to flip a multi-ton aircraft onto its roof, we picture crumbled metal and catastrophic structural failure. Yet the smooth lines of this aircraft's main body look almost perfectly preserved.
Notice the nose landing gear pointing straight up into the sky on the left side. Obviously, that confirms a full 180-degree flip, but it also tells us something crucial. The landing gear is fully extended and locked in place. It didn't collapse into the fuselage, the wheels are totally intact. It is just a surreal marker of exactly how inverted this entire situation is. This is a brilliant illustration of modern structural engineering. Despite the immense kinetic energy required to overturn a jet this size, the visual evidence shows an intact cabin that held its cylindrical shape perfectly. There's no buckling, no obvious signs of smoke, fire, or charring anywhere. So how exactly did this plane crash without completely crumbling? Well, based on what we see, that ultra-slick, zero-friction ice we noted earlier likely acted as a massive lubricant. Instead of the metal catching and violently tearing against a rough surface like asphalt, the plane basically went on a giant slip and slide, rolling over relatively smoothly and preserving the cabin.
Part 3, the orderly passenger evacuation. We've got some stark narrative tension going on here. On one side, you have the terrifying implication of an upside-down plane, an event that had to involve severe G-forces and massive disorientation. But on the other side, we have a group of people casually standing around outside, looking more like they're waiting for a delayed winter bus rather than fleeing a potential disaster zone.
Zooming in, we clearly see a cluster of individuals standing securely on the ice near an open exit door. And of course, the doors open towards the ground, which makes sense since the plane is upside down. People look like they've just stepped out. There's no frantic running, they aren't scattered across the ice, they are just huddled calmly right near the exit point.
And here is the wildest visual clue. If you look at the silhouettes of the passengers, they actually evacuated with their carry-on bags and backpacks. I mean, think about it. That implies the evacuation was so calm and totally devoid of immediate threats like fire or smoke that people literally felt they had time to grab their personal stuff before hopping out. Plus, there's someone in a bright yellow, high-visibility jacket managing the door, suggesting a crew member is actively running this surprisingly orderly scene.
Part 4. The observer in the foreground.
Over on the far left of the frame, separated from the passengers, there is a person wearing a heavy plaid shirt and jeans. They are standing perfectly still, back to us, facing the overturned wreck. Just look at their posture for a second. It's completely relaxed. They aren't braced for an explosion or rushing over to help. They're just casually holding up a smartphone to record this bizarre anomaly. It's a really fascinating behavioral detail, isn't it? It perfectly highlights how human instinct today often turns instantly to documentation right after a shock. Once they realize the immediate danger is over, no fire, calm evacuation, the absolute first reaction is to capture the unbelievable sight sitting right in front of them.
Part 5. Synthesizing the visual evidence.
So let's bring all this visual data together. From just this one photograph, we've extracted a complete narrative. We saw extreme environmental hazards with that slippery sheet ice. We witnessed incredible structural resilience, a multi-ton machine resting on its roof with a perfectly unbroken cabin. And we saw an incredibly calm human response, with folks walking out carrying backpacks, while a bystander just casually records the whole thing on their phone. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this final thought. The fact that a commercial jet can end up totally inverted in a frozen wasteland, yet remain structurally sound enough that passengers can grab their bags and literally just walk out the door, that is a profound testament to modern aviation engineering. It really makes you wonder just how incredible the physics of that low-friction ice slide were, and honestly, what else these machines are capable of withstanding to keep us safe. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive, and remember to always keep questioning what you see.